Okay, so today we will continue our class 10, which is basically we will try to move more forward to our journey to learning Java programming language, and also trying to understand how the software development world work. Okay, remember the class that I'm conducting is to give you experience of real life software engineer, and parallelly we will learn a computer programming. So let's be practical and let's start understanding how a software get developed. Okay, for our first practice purpose, we will go to a requirement which is called a technical requirement. So assume you joined with me for a software development for a company who are going to develop a small software which is this. So this is the way basically in all companies when they develop software, they maintain a very good organized way. So first they bring up a requirement, okay, and the requirement is written clearly that everybody can understand, every engineer can understand. So it says a small startup software development company needs to create a program which is a computer program. You can develop it with Java, JavaScript or whatever, that will calculate the pay of its employees. So it's a very simple program that will accept an employee's name, number of hours the employee worked, and hourly pay rate. Then the program will just calculate the gross pay of the employees. That's it. Now, in a real world, there are lots of things happen. It's not just that a requirement is written and then you start developing a software. Okay, in real world, there are lots of things happen. We go through some process called IPO. It's called input process output life cycle, and then we try to understand what is the calculation involved, and also what is the output involved, right? All those things got written so that everybody understand more. And there are something very interesting they do is create a flow chart that shows a end to end process of the software, that what is the software will do. Okay, this is called flowchart. So it will start, it will take input, then it will calculate gross pay, and it will display output, and then the program will end. And there are another interesting thing. So this is something called pseudocode. Now think like that, if you are a software developer, maybe somebody else will develop this flowchart and pseudocode for you. All you have to do is now take this pseudocode. Pseudocode is just like English saying that how a program should written. Sometime architect level people, they write this kind of things. Sometimes developer also write this to first understand that what they are developing is correct, right? And last is you create some desk chart, some testing chart, that each line of your code will do what, right? Something like this. This is like a basic document I have just prepared for you guys just to understand. But in real world, this way there are other documents also show up, like this flowchart. When based on the complexity of the program, it will be maybe very difficult to understand. But people actually do, like team actually do discussion to understand it, and then pseudocode might be a little bit complicated. However, you just can start that, okay, as a software engineer, I will always will be given this kind of document to understand, and then I prepare myself from the pseudocode and from the flowchart, or there might be some UX design documents, or lots of things. You just prepare yourself to code, and then you go to your IDE. And then let's say you start creating the code for this program. So what we will do now here, let's do one thing. Let's make it professional. We'll say file, new, and then we'll say new Java project. Okay, and we'll name it as a employee salary calculator. So we'll just give a basic name. We see that Java 2nd edition 17 we will use. Then say finish. And after that, it will give us a small directory, and inside the directory we have the library, we have the source, there is one sample file. Let's not use this, so I'll just delete this one. However, we will create our code by our class. So we'll just say right click, new class, and name it as a calculator v1. Okay, calculator version 1, put a main method, click finish. Okay, so what is the requirement says? The requirement says we can start writing some comment to understand that what we are writing. Okay, so the requirement says accept some input from user. Okay, and what are the input? Like employee name, okay, then total hour worked, and then hourly rate, right? Hourly rate. So these are the information you have to take, and after that you have to also print the output. Okay, and what will be the output? Same thing, but there is one thing you have to output extra, which is a calculation, right? So you have to print employee name, total hour worked, hourly rate, and gross pay. Okay, now to bring the gross pay, you have to do a small calculation, so we can just write it here. Calculation will be gross pay equals to, then you can just multiply total hour worked with, so in star is basically represent multiplication in Java. Say this is the one, right? So you have to write this program. This is just a documentation I create, right? So to write it, what we have to do, let's start with the output part first. Okay, let's do only output. So if you remember the last classes that we did, we learned something called system out.println, right? That can help us to print something in our console. So we can just use this, and we can say employee name is, then I can give a sample name like Mr. X. Okay, and then you can just use this same statement again and again, just for say employee total. So you can just say employee total hour worked, then you give a sample just for your understanding, that okay, 40 hour. Okay, and then you again put system out.println and type employee hourly rate is 10. Okay, and you have to print one more, right? The gross pay. So here you can just say employee gross pay. Now you cannot just give like this, you have to do a calculation. What we can do, we can do a calculation here. We have to put first that at the left side it's a general statement, which is a text, and then at the right side I want to connect with a calculation. So you can just put a first bracket here. Don't worry, I will explain everything, this bracket and all those things. Just be with me for now. So all you have to do is now for this employee 40 into 10 you have to put it here, right? So that's it. Now what will happen, we have not actually developed all the other part, only the output part. So let's run it. Remember we used to do some CMD, Java C, Java, right? In IDE, the good thing is you don't need to do anything. First of all, you see your code is clean, there is no error, so you will not have any runtime syntax error or something. All you have to do is either right click into your class and just say run as Java application, or there is a green button. You just click this green button, it will print the output exactly here. So if you see, it's actually printing the output saying employee name is X, 40 hour work, 10 hour per hour is $400 is the gross pay, right? Now we will continue this program because this is not complete. This is just a skeleton we just built, but we have to give it more professional look. We have to follow the requirement, we have to follow the pseudocode, right? So that the program looks exactly what is said. Okay, so let's do it on the next class. For this, just practice this, and if you need this documentation here, right, I will share it into a Google Drive, and I will try to put this document link to be downloaded to this comments. Okay, thank you guys, see you in next class 11. Okay.